Welcome to the Osmo Early Bird Podcast. It's your old pal EMAC coming to you with one Adam a ship. My money share as we get ready for a Tuesday MLB slate. 14 games on the main slate. One game going early. That will be the New York Yankees and the who was it? The White Sox. Pardon me. I was going to say the White Sox. The Tigers. We got Edwin Jackson out on the mound. Chad Green looks like he will be the opener. Not going to have to worry about that one. So check that one out if you're playing the solo slate, showdown slate, whatever it might be. We will have projections, but let's talk about the 14-game main slate here, Adam. We, of course, have 14 that we'll talk about. We'll utilize the DraftKings pricing and strategy as we go through here, but we do have presenting sponsor Yahoo, who is running back the $1 Million Baller NFL tournament here for week 2. One little tweak to it. It is going to be 150 max. The remainder of their contests are still 10 max or less. They do not have CSV upload, however. So this will be interesting to see what happens. In week 1, the contest got about 65% full. So I'm not surprised they have gone this route. They have said for the time being it's just going to be this contest, and they might get CSV in the next week 2 or 3. They haven't decided yet. So you can always check that out. If you have not yet signed up there, you can get a $30 deposit bonus. If you go to any of the Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article for MLB here, in the third paragraph, you will find the link, instructions, and promo code on how to do just that. Adam, starting off here with our first game, Baltimore hosting the Los Angeles Dodgers. We have Walker Buehler coming in at 12,300, Ty Black at 5,200 here. I'm assuming all scales or all parts of the scale are going to be pointing to Walker Buehler in this side. We'll have to see if we can afford that premium. Do you see any holes in the Walker Buehler game outside of price?
No, not at all. Leads the slate with a 29.5% strikeout percentage. 25.2 K minus BB percentage is about 5 points higher than the next closest guy, which is Lance Lynn. 3.4 Sierra. Just a really, really good pitcher in a pretty good matchup against the Orioles.
Right. And then Block, no reason to go to him. Dodgers, though, they are much better when they're facing righties. They do have. I mean, we're talking A.J. Pollock, Justin Turner, Will Smith, Chris Taylor's going to be in there. You've also got Justin Turner, David Freese. You got a bunch of righties. This is not all 6.1 implied run total here for the Dodgers. Continuing along, Philadelphia hosting Atlanta. You have Max Fried coming in here to take on Jason Vargas. Phillies are offering up just a 4.2 implied run total. Fried has been pretty solid thus far. It's going to be in the upper 70s in Philadelphia. Light breeze in the 5 to 8 mile an hour range going out to left center. It's going to be relatively low humidity. That's some nice pitching weather, despite this one being in Citizens Bank Ballpark, Adam. Any interest on either side? Well, first, your little diatribe on 37-year-old Jason Vargas, who is the definition of confounding.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what to make of Vargas. I actually had a bunch of him last start when he did well, which was the first time this season, I think, that I've gotten him on a good day. But I'm not really interested in him. He's 7,800 on DraftKings, has a tough matchup against the Braves. Much, much more interested in Max Fried on the other side.
With regards to Fried, now Philly does have the ability to go pretty heavy righty. Does that concern you at all?
Not really. Obviously, I would rather they have lefties, but Fried is just a really good pitcher overall. His strikeout stuff's been improving lately. He's been throwing his slider more in addition to that really good curveball that he has. He has a fastball that sits 94, 95 miles an hour as well. Against righties this year, 24.3% strikeout percentage, 118 expected ISO. He's been the best pitcher in baseball at limiting barrels on balls in play. Just a lot of things working for him. And now that the strikeouts are rising because of a little bit of a change in pitch mix, it just makes him even more appealing for DFS.
I think the about facing about 600 batters, that 3.3 implied xFIP or actual xFIP, which is the advanced metric, kind of neutralizing a variety of factors here to get more of a true ERA, regressing luck and a few other factors. That's actually pretty impressive, as is the just limiting of power. That has been also pretty good for the youngster. So definitely someone to keep an eye on. Cruising along here. There we go. I knew we were going to get some September call-ups here to trip us up. We got Nate Eovaldi, not the September call-up, but he's going to be taking on TJ Zuck. Zeus. We're going to call him Zeus because that sounds a little more cool. I'll have to see if I can find the pronunciation on his name. Adam, 5,600. We'll get to him in a second. How do you feel about Eovaldi, middle of the road, 7,300, going against the Blue Jays?
Not really that interested. He's, I think, just kind of a middle of the road arm. Toronto's a decent matchup, but unless they get a lot of righties in this lineup, then I would get a little bit more interest. But I don't think I'll be that high on Eovaldi.
All right, so of course they're not going to give me any event. TJ was drafted in the first round of 2016. Came, let's see. Oh, he was actually drafted twice. So he was drafted out of high school here. Went in 31st round, decided to go to college, which a lot of ball players do because they're not going to get any guaranteed money. Came out after a couple years at the University of Pittsburgh. Actually, was a first rounder, 21st pick overall in the 2016 draft. In the minors, he has been a whole lot of meh with his strikeout rate, 6.4 per nine. He did have 3 seasons, 213 innings in the NCAA realm. Looks like mostly as a starter, a handful of relief appearances, literally 33 starts, 6 relief appearances, but did have a 8.6 strikeout rate there. That doesn't always translate well to the majors here, but he is a righty. He is a bit of a pedigree there, and he is also 6'7", Adam. God, that's huge. Any thoughts for him going against the Bo Sox? More of a price play than anything else. I don't feel like we can really stack up against him, but it is Boston.
Yeah, zero interest in him. Just not a strikeout guy in a brutal matchup against the Red Sox. I do like the Red Sox because he pitches to contact. He's probably not very good, and they are. And Toronto's also been the best park for home runs this year.
Oh, has it really?
At least as of the last time I looked at ESPN's park factors, which was like a week ago.
Good to know. Thank you on that one. Not have made the official transaction yet, so I'm not. I'm going to a couple different sites here, but not seeing an implied run total. Let's see. This will be TJ's first major league start, his second appearance. Let's see. Yeah. You heard Adam's assessment. Catcher Bo Taylor called the right-hander's debut absolutely amazing after TJ entered in the second and held the Braves to just a pair of runs on 3 hits over 4 innings. Never change, MLB.com probable pitchers page. Never change. I just want some of these crappy guys to come back at them just so I can read what they say about them. In any event, moving on to our next game, Chase Anderson gets a whole host of righties here coming in from the Miami Marlins. They may have Neil Walker potentially making a guest appearance. Magnus Sierra is not really going to scare anybody, but that's about it for their lefties. Everybody else is going to be righty here. How are you feeling about Chase Anderson coming in to the winning lottery ticket matchup against the Marlins? Just a 4 implied run total. He is only 6,000 on DraftKings.
I think he's pretty clearly the best value option on DraftKings. It's middle of the road pitcher in Chase Anderson, but it's a good pitcher's park in Miami. It's an awful Miami lineup. They have plenty of strikeouts in it. They have right-handed hitters, which throughout his career, Anderson has been better against lefties than righties. But the issue or the reason I'm not too concerned about it, in addition to the park not being good for home runs, is that there's almost no right-handed power in the lineup. You know, if you wanted to look like to a Garrett Cooper or Jorge Alfaro, those guys have some power, but overall, not much in this lineup to scare you off Anderson, especially at that really cheap price tag on a slate with a Coors game.
I'm just, I want to check it out here. So if we look, well, let's give them a fighting chance. Let's only pick this season. If we pick their projected lineup in this season, you have Neil Walker with a 133 ISO, Cooper with a 170, Alfaro with a 150. Everybody else is below that. Yikes. So we shall see. But as we know, because I've looked it up, Miami scores 6 or more runs approximately 25% of the time. giving you no other context, but it should not be surprised if every now and then they run into a whole bunch of them against our chosen pitchers. Eliezer Hernandez, someone that usually gets a nice little bump there in the Awesemo projections. Adam, tough matchup here going against the Brew Crew. They are coming in with a 5.1 implied run total here. He is 6,400. It is Miami. Any interest at all?
Yeah, he's got pretty good strikeout stuff. It's not a safe matchup against Milwaukee, but safety only goes so far, especially in baseball, but in all sports really. So I think that the strikeout upside that he gives you is pretty appealing for his salary in this park. I assume that Chase Anderson will get a lot of ownership and that you'll get less on her. But it probably won't be in the same ballpark as Anderson. 22.5% strikeout percentage, 4.65 Sierra, pretty decent stuff. I think that there are also enough strikeouts in the Milwaukee lineup that it's a pretty appealing spot for both guys. I could see even just rostering them together and then loading up on bats.
They'll be in the same ballpark.
What?
Never mind. It was a bad pun. I went there because I'm me. The Diamondbacks, the Mets. Allen taking on Zach Wheeler. Only one of the Zachs has a K in his name. That would be Wheeler. We do know that the Diamondbacks have the ability to go lefty or righty because they have several prominent switch hitters, and then they've got a couple ne'er-do-wells that can go lefty or righty depending on what they're trying to do here. This one, I am going to side with Wheeler. We have a 3.9 implied run total coming in with Arizona. It's going to be in the mid-70s in New York. The Metropolitans are looking at a 4.2 implied run total going against Gallon. Gallon's 11,200. You get a $1,200 discount to Zach Wheeler. For me, everything's pointing to Wheeler if I'm playing someone from this game. How do you want to approach this pair of relatively evenly matched hurlers?
I think that they're both good pitchers. I don't have tons of interest in either one. Zach Gallen's just really, really expensive at 11-2 on DraftKings. He doesn't have a great matchup against the Mets. I think he's a very good pitcher. I don't think he belongs in this price range, especially in this matchup. And then on the other side, Wheeler, good pitcher, but also expensive and has a really tough strikeout matchup against the Diamondbacks. So I anticipate where I spend up, just finding the money for Bueller, and then in most other lineups going to like a Max Fried or even cheaper.
All right, let's continue along here. Our next game, the Washington Nationals are in Minnesota for some interleague action. We have Jose Berrios taking the mound for the Twins, Anibal Sanchez for the Nationals. Of course, that means there will be the DH in play, which is a bit of a downgrade from what we're usually used to seeing for Anibal Sanchez. He's checking in at 8,200. The 5.9 implied run total for the Twins. It feels like full speed ahead against Sanchez, or is this a misleading run total because it's also baking in the Nationals' craptastic bullpen when you're looking at stacking?
I mean, it definitely factors in the bullpen. Sanchez is, I think, better than Vegas has given him credit for all year. He's still not great, though, and Minnesota just has tons of power. So I still will side with them. It's just not. Some people will probably like Minnesota and be a lot more confident in their chances of coming through than I am. But all things considered, I still think I would rather be on Minnesota than on Sanchez. And I think that Minnesota is still in a high upside spot, even though Sanchez has only allowed a 138 expected ISO to righties and a 135 expected ISO to lefties.
Yeah, in his last 8 starts, he has allowed home runs in 3 of the games. Sadly, 3 in his last start and 1 in the one before that. And then you have to go back another 5 before he allowed 1. So he's got a 4.1 ERA, 1.3 WHIP. Done a pretty good job of limiting power overall. Just 19 home runs in 140 innings, but we'll see. The wheels could come off the wagon. But I just wanted to talk through that one a little bit because I don't think it's the gimme that initial 5.9 implied run total would say at first glance when you're throwing out the name Anibal Sanchez. If we're looking at Berrios here, I wanted to see what he's been going. So he's gone 101, 101, 93, 92, 96, 97, 81, 106, 113, 92. So you are getting full pitch counts from him. The one downside is, one, he allows a little bit of power, does a pretty good job of keeping base runners to a minimum, has decent strikeout ability, just shy of 1 per inning, but he is going against the Nationals. the Nationals actually are not a bad offense, and they actually have reasonable guys they can bring in as the DH. Not that they have power that can come in as the DH, but it pretty much assures that you're going to have Ryan Zimmerman and Matt Adams in the lineup at the same time. And you will have Asdrubal Cabrera and most likely, who am I blanking? You may have Howie Kendrick, but three of those four guys will make it in the lineup, or more often than not, when it's in Nationals Park, just two of them make it in the lineup. I think it's too dangerous to go to Barrios here, but how do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I'm not on Barrios. He just doesn't strike out enough guys to warrant his price tag. And then you factor in the tough matchup against the Nats, a team that doesn't strike out, has a lot of power, and now also doesn't have a pitcher hitting, as you said. So if I had to choose either side, I'd rather stack the Nats.
All right, next one is a game in Texas. It's going to be in the low 90s. We have Ryan Yarbrough all the way up to 9,000. So lefty going against Texas here. Lance Lynn on the other side, 10,500. Lynn has earned that price point this season. Not the best of matchups, not the best of weather when we consider the context as it's getting cooler in a lot of the other outdoor parks, or at least it's not as hot as it was for July and August. Any interest in either of these guys? We are paying top shelf pricing for both of them.
Yeah, not
Yarbrough went 98 in his last one, 85, 68, 83, 99. It's hit or miss with him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just not that interested. Like, I think Lance Lynn's a really good pitcher. I think Yarbrough is good, and I like taking lefties against Texas. But this game being in Texas is a pretty significant downgrade for Yarbrough, as opposed to it being in the Trop. And I mean, it's not great for Lynn either. I know he's put up good numbers, but pitching in 90-degree weather in Texas, as opposed to almost anywhere else on this slate, is not great either. So I don't really think I get to either pitcher because of their price.
All right. Now we've got two pitchers we're going to want to target against. I have a feeling. We'll see. Jake Junis, 8,600. That is, yet again, a lofty price point, but solid matchup here against the White Sox. Over the last two seasons, Junis is top 5 for home runs allowed. So I think at this price point, it's kind of a pass for me. You could maybe get into it on the 8 o'clock slate on the two pitcher sites. On the other side, you have Ivan Nova. We'd mentioned it. The regression monster came, saw, and conquered Adam in his last couple starts here. Nova has come back to earth dramatically. He has allowed 6 earned runs, 4 earned runs, just a pair of homers, but he has 1 strikeout in his last 2 games. It's all falling apart for him. I really am considering the top 5 from Kansas City. However, he's a $4,800 pitcher on DraftKings, but he's sub 5K. You say has a moment. Is there going to be a moment for Ivan Nova on Tuesday?
It's not crazy. Like, if you have to go that cheap, it's an okay matchup. It's an okay, like, not good, but $4,800 pitcher. I would still rather just do things like roster Eliezer Hernandez or Chase Anderson than Nova, though. And I'm with you. I do think Kansas City bats are kind of interesting. The top of the order is pretty expensive, but Nova's just not a pitcher that I really shy away from. I think that Soler, Mondesi, Merrifield, all good plays. Ryan McBroom's only 2K. So that's a value bat that you can get to as well. He actually has multi-position eligibility on DraftKings too, which makes it even easier.
All right. And then no interest, I'm assuming, in Junis at that price point? 86.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
All right. And again, at the end here, we'll circle back to the other sites just to make sure we aren't missing anything crucial, because they do have pricing somewhat differently. For example, on Yahoo, Ryan Yarbrough is the most expensive pitcher at 52. Let's not do that. Moving along here, we have Oakland and Houston. Wade Miley, Adam, he gave up more than 400 runs in his last start. That was the first time in, I want to say, 49 starts that he had done that, but he did it in a spectacular way against the Mariners when we were counting on him. We were paying top dollar, Adam, and he let us down. There was no run prevention in that game. On the other side, you have Tanner Roark coming in at 9,700. What the hell is DK doing with their pricing today?
Yeah, Roark being priced up to face the Astros, and for that matter, Miley being priced up to face the Athletics. Neither one makes any sense. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about here.
All right, we're moving along from this one. Continuing along, But yes, there is a game in Coors Field, and this is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. We have Michael Waka, who has been dicey at best. Let me see what are his numbers. 4.9 ERA over his last 10 games. Have been a little bit better of 4.4, but he has also allowed 25 home runs on the season in 112 innings. That is not very good. On the other side, Chichi Gonzalez has been a disaster. 7.3 ERA, 1.7 whip. He has not yet won a game. Not that that matters, but he is coming off his air quote best performance of the year. This was against the Dodgers of all teams. He managed to go 101 pitches, held them to 2 innings, 6 in the third. Six in the third innings, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Nothing spectacular, but it was the first time in 3 games that he had a positive fantasy point performance. I guess this is where we're going to be looking for all of our hitters.
Yeah, obviously a great spot for hitting. 14 games on the slate, so maybe ownership here doesn't get overly high. Good. Michael Waka is not very good either. The two pretty mediocre offenses, but looks like it should be around 80 degrees, and it's Colorado, so not a whole lot to say. It's two mediocre to bad pitchers and great hitting conditions.
Yeah, and on DK, here's your savings. Rami Altapia is 3,900. Sam Hilliard is 3,800. So that will get you some action there, or some of the higher end plays at other positions. What do we got? 4 to go here. We are moving on to the 9:40 games. We're going to have looks like a 4-game and a 3-game late slate. Pittsburgh Pirates continuing their trip out there to San Francisco, taking on Johnny Cueto. I had forgotten he was still in the league. He has made a handful of minor league appearances in August, has not thrown very many pitches. You want no part of him in this one. On the other side, though, Mitch Keller, I believe, hit by a pitch. Was it the forearm that had him come out of his game early in his last start, Adam, when he was absolutely cruising? He's 8,800. I feel strongly that we're going to want to play Keller tonight. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I really like Keller. He's someone that I've talked about a lot ever since he came up. Really good fastball, really good curveball, just really good stuff. The command is still not perfect, but pitching in San Francisco against a Giants offense that isn't very good. It's a good run prevention spot. There are enough strikeouts in this lineup. I think that Keller is a good play. Like, he's right up there with Max Fried for my favorite mid range pitchers.
I want to double check that he's in the lineup. It was a pitch off it was a comebacker off his wrist from Miami, or in the Miami game at 107 miles an hour. That doesn't sound enjoyable at all. But let's look here. Giants. He is confirmed starting. I was seeing some stuff where they were saying his start might be pushed, etc. But they were talking about the start that he has already. Yeah, I mean, he was amazing. He faced five guys, struck out 3 of them. It got a ground ball. Not a bad way to go. Too bad it ended so quickly, but he's definitely going to be in my plans. I like that price point. God, even on the 14-game slate, would not shock me to see him flirt with 40% popularity. Adam, we shall see. We shall see. Let me move along here. Our next game is going to be Zach Plesac for Cleveland in Anaheim, taking on the Angels. You have Jose Suarez. Suarez been a mess. He's had some moments there at AAA for the Salt Lake Bees, but gosh, his time in the majors has been awful. I really don't want to take him against Cleveland since they have several switch hitters, Santana and Lindor being the 2 main ones, along with Jordan Luplow, Franmil Reyes, Yasiel Puig, Oscar Mercado. They got a lot of good righties here as well. I don't want to take Plesac just on general price points. I think this is a complete stay away. Are there any redeeming merits for either of these guys on the 3-game late slate?
Not that I see.
Well, there you go. Let's get on to the next one. Jose Quintana taking on Ronald Boyanos. I think this is the second or third start here for Boyanos. He is 6,800, taking on the Cubs' never very fun, but they are coming in with a 4.6 implied run total. Is going to be in the upper 60s, lower 70s there in San Diego. We have a light breeze, 5 to 6 miles an hour going out to right field. Quintana, 9,500. Not really the guy I want to take against a whole host of righties at that price point. I think this is another potential stay away. I like these guys a tiny bit better than the previous game, the Cleveland Anaheim game, but only because of location, the fact that there's no DH. There's really no difference in talent, in my opinion. Does Boyanos have any interest to you?
No, he doesn't.
All right, then that's going to get us to our last game here. Then we'll round out pricing on the other sites. Check it out here. Cincinnati Reds, Seattle Mariners, Trevor Bauer going against Justice Sheffield. Justice Sheffield, not very exciting in my opinion as a Mariners fan. He is a lefty. He's going to be going against a lot of righties for Cincinnati. We'll have to see if Nick Senzel is healthy, but in addition to him, he will be facing the red-hot Aristides Aquino. Eugenio Suarez is pretty good. Philip Ervin has his moment. Kurt Casale, not too bad. This is not going to be a good spot for Sheffield. Bauer, on the other hand, will face a ton of lefties. Bauer, one of your favorite pitchers. He has been held in high esteem for you for a couple years. How are you feeling about this matchup in the Pacific Northwest, where it is going to be in the mid-60s?
I really like it for Bauer. He's the third guy in that grouping of Fried, Keller, and Bauer. You're getting him just at a super cheap price tag. Favorable park for pitchers. I think that there eats up a ton of ownership, in which case I'd be fine pivoting to Fried and Keller. But if their ownership is equal, I think that you kind of have to give, as hard as it is for me to say, because I like Fried and I like Keller so much, Bauer, might be the highest projected of the trio.
All right, lofty praise there from Adam. You can check all of this out on the DFS Strategy Show. That will be at 9:30 Tuesday morning. You will get the deep dive that's being written by Adam as we're wrapping up the baseball season here. And then, of course, you have the deeper dive. You'll get Adam, Lofty, and Alex. That'll be going around 5 o'clock, and then you'll get live before lock from 6 until lock. We got you covered here at Osmo.com. Reminder, check out that Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article, third paragraph. Tell you how to get $30 with your initial deposit bonus as a sweetener there on Yahoo. Yahoo Fantasy Sports. Live it, love it, learn it. Great place to play. We did say we were going to loop back on pricing. So let's do that. So Yahoo, it's a little bit tricky. Yarborough 52, no thanks. Bueller 51, nope. Quintana 50, nope. Ivan Nova 41. Who do these guys think they are? DraftKings? So
did you say no to Bueller at 51?
No, I said yes. I said no to Bueller at 51 because wait for it. Max Fried at 39, Trevor Bauer at 39, Zach Wheeler at 36. I like those guys with the $10 to $14 discount.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take Bueller at 51.
Okay. And then cruising all the way down towards the bottom. Nothing exciting because those guys are in good spots. Eliseo Hernandez at 29 pops on the radar, and that's kind of about it there. But yeah, so you got 5 pitchers to choose from if you throw in Walker Buehler. Yeah, he's a good pitcher. If we look at the dueling fans, what do we have here? We've got Bueller at 11.6. Fried at 9.6. Allen at 9.1. Wheeler at 8,300. There's your tournament play. Yarborough at 74. Got some interest in that. Let's see. Keller at 61. Adam's locking him in.
Yeah, just give me all the Keller.
Yeah, and Bauer at 87. So FanDuel's got to really weak. I don't want to say weak. They've got a lot of discounted pitching to their talent. DraftKings is making us pay through the nose, but it is September baseball, which means there's going to be a couple $2,500 guys that are going to make the lineups when 28 teams are playing. And then Yahoo's got the 5 key guys at the 3 different price points that can help you out. So there is something for everyone on Tuesday, Adam. With that, we're going to get on out of here. You can follow Adam at ShipMyMoneyDFS. You can find me at EmacDFS over there on Twitter. And of course, it is Osmo_COM. With that, gamers, good luck.